Hi, you're welcome to today's session on the role of information technology in national security. My name is Akinwale Akindia. I will be making this seminar presentation today. Information technology is very important in our national lives today, especially with the various challenges that the country is facing right now. These are difficult times, especially in Nigeria. We have so much hype, so much increase in insecurities, and the reports of people uh, being killed is becoming alarming. And so we want to see, apart from using, the human elements in ensuring security, which is actually the most important, really. We also need to be able to look at how we can deploy technology to address some of these national security concerns. All right. We want to look at how to determine the relationship between information technology and national security. Is there a connection between the two of them? I want to look at the ways that IT can have a positive impact on national security. We want to see how national security can be achieved through information technology. Definitions: national security. What's national security? National security is a concept that the government, together with its parliament, must protect the country and its citizens against attacks through all means at its disposal. So, national security is the primary responsibility of any government in the world. Security and welfare of the citizens are key responsibilities of any government. And so the government must ensure that the citizens and the residents in the country are safe, are not only safe, they feel safe. You could be safe and you don't feel safe. So uh, a country has a responsibility to protect its people from trauma, from fear. So information technology is defined by the American Information Technology Association as the study, design, development, uh, implementation, support, or management of computer-based information systems, especially computer applications and hardware. I like this definition. So we start from the scratch. We study the need for IT in an environment, then we design information technology that is suited for that environment. We develop, the software or hardware, then we will launch, we go live, implement. After go live, we keep on supporting or managing the information technology. So this is a very good definition of information technology. So basically, use of technology to solve our operational or day-to-day challenges. Security challenges globally, even in Nigeria, poverty and unemployment. Why are we considering poverty and unemployment as security challenges? Easy. Once people are not employed or they are underemployed, it becomes easy for them to be lured into crime. So unemployment is a key contributor to the rise in insecurity in Nigeria. All right, riots, ethnic and tribal strife. Okay, we talk about racism, when Africans go outside the country, the continent, there have been reports of, maybe white versus black incident. But I also noticed in Africa, ethnicity is a big problem in Africa. I did a lot of study on wars on the African continent, you know, and I discovered that basically most of the wars we've had in Africa is tribal in nature. All right, look at the wars in Burundi, look at the civil war in Rwanda, look at the civil war in Congo, look at even the civil war in Nigeria, 67 to 70. It's still tribe, it's still ethnicity. So that tension is always there and often leads to, unfortunately, often leads to bloodshed. Um, I'm actually one of the advocates that, for sustainability of the African continent, we need to start playing down this tribal card. Okay, insecurity, kidnapping, armed robbery, all these challenges are on the rise. Corruption is also a security challenge in Africa, rigging of election. All right, and of course, one of the consequences of rigging of election is the agree party may resorts to violence. Theft, oil pipeline theft, theft of public funds, piracy of copyrights and the rest. So information security, defacing government websites, theft of critical data, denial of service attacks, insider threats. So you have security agents betraying their own country, disgruntled employees working against the organizations, working against the country, over reliance on foreign technology. And it's a big problem in Africa where we import basically all the operating systems, all the most of the application, key applications are imported. So, and because of that, you know, sovereignty is questionable. Okay, inadequate regulations, cybersecurity, and the most recent farmers and herdsmen clashes, which we had reports, here and there. And so all these challenges are there in the country, in Africa, and even generally in the world. Now, so how do we use IT to address these problems? Okay, IT can create jobs, utilities. I like this. All right, education and learning portals, construction and manufacturing, banking and industry. So we have fintech now springing up among young people, advertising and business networking, healthcare. So we can deploy IT to leverage opportunities in virtually all fields, agriculture, health, name it. And this is important. So it's a preventive measure. Create jobs using through IT. And like I said, the more people are engaged, the less likely it will be for them to consider a life of crime or a life of violence. Okay, IT can create opportunities to store information centrally, databases and storage consolidation system. So we have cases whereby somebody will commit a crime in Lagos, he will run to Anambra, he will run to Benin because he believes he will be safe. And a lot of times they get away with it. Okay, but if we have a database of biometrics, for example, okay, we have information that is centralized. So you commit a crime in any part of the country, there's a central base that the security enforcement agencies can log into and they can be able to pick you anywhere you are in the country and sometimes even anywhere you are in the world. Okay, so cyber warfare is also another opportunity for governments. So a lot of governments now are investing in cyber warfare capabilities. For example, people have been saying there will be a third war, which is likely. We've had the First World War, we've had the Second World War, there might be a third World War, and it's going to be a war of technology. So it's not us carrying guns, carrying missiles. Even the missiles have been fired using technology. So you have command drones, uh, unmanned aircraft. All these are going to use technology to launch. So if somebody can maybe take over your administrative console and is in charge from outside the country, they're taking over your systems, your cyber warfare systems, and everything is disabled. And so this is very, very important for nations to start thinking, about investing in cyber warfare capability. Not just even to launch attacks, but even to defend yourself in case such attacks are launched against your country. Intelligence gathering, satellite technology has made life easy for countries now, and national security. So instead of having soldiers everywhere, having policemen everywhere, which we can never have enough human resources. So you need to use deploy satellites, invest in satellite technology, and it's up there watching everybody, all right, and you can be able to uh, monitor your oil pipeline. That's one problem we have in Nigeria, oil bunkering. We can use satellite technology and have a rapid response squad. So the moment the satellite pick up, a movement that is fishy, okay, the system can trigger an alarm to a central monitoring monitor, and system, the rapid response code move immediately to the site, and you are able to stop the operation before it can actually destroy that oil pipeline. So these are things we can actually use satellite technology for. There are places where human beings might be risky. For example, a kidnappers there can use satellite technology to get feeds, intelligent feeds on that. Facial recognition software, incidentally, I was watching one film, American film today, where facial recognition software was used to identify, a suspect, even though the features have changed, right? But they took the picture, they matched it with what they have in the database, and once it matched, they knew that this is our guy, and they went after him. So once law enforcement agents have picked your face somewhere, they can scan any part of the country, any crowd, any market, any public environment until they are able to get a match. And that is one way to be able to catch the suspects of violent crimes. Biometrics very important. Your face, your voice, your fingerprints, your palm, your iris, your retina. So all these are physical characteristics that we can use to actually, uniquely identify individual. And this can solve a lot of problems. Many criminals, because they know that the system is lax. So they leave fingerprints, they leave body residue, all right? They leave ear um, strands, and so on a crime scene. So if we have a biometric database, it makes our job easier as security enforcers. Robots are also very important. I remember that I read a story of one guy in the US that was killing people, a soldier, all right, an ex-soldier, and he's one reason there that started killing people, and because he was a trained soldier, the police were very careful in approaching him because he has a combat experience. So what they did was that they just sent a robot. They pinned him to a corner where he was alone. Of course, they told everybody to leave the area. They remote controlled to a robot with a bomb to go and meet him. And once the robots got into a range, then they detonated the bomb, and the bomb was able to kill the guy. Okay, that case was online. I read it online. All right, and that was how they were able to solve it. Because if they are trying to move close to arrest him, there's likely that there will be more casualties among the police officers. So this is one intelligent way of using science and technology to address security problems. We now have self-driving police cars. For example, one of the reasons people have been agitating for a review of the police force in Nigeria is that the number of policemen compared to the population is so is virtually not enough. Then you have some of the policemen working with the VIPs and the rest, and that how many policemen do we have in Nigeria to secure 200 million people? So we need to start thinking about, using robots to do some of the job that police is currently doing. All right, patrolling banks, patrolling airports, patrolling schools. We can use robots so that all these schools that we have bandits going there to carry children. So we have robots patrolling those schools. And once there is a signal that the school is about to be attacked, then special squad to move in to stop such kidnaps. We have robotic surgical systems now. I first read of this in a movie, and I later discovered that it is true. So we have now surgeons can operate remotely over hundreds and thousands of miles. And this is very important, especially in the military, where you have soldiers getting shot on the battlefield. So to bring a medical surgeon on the field where there is gunshots, and a lot of um, explosions, it might be very difficult. So you can actually have a robot and have the surgeon remotely, operate that robot to do a surgery. And this has been done successfully. So it means it is a proven technology. So this is something that we need to consider in Nigeria, whereby we can use robots in medical uh, surgery, where it's not easy, or it's not easy to have a surgeon physically in place. All right, we have short spotter. So sometimes when you hear a gunshot, you don't know where the gun is coming from. And see people running. Sometimes they even run towards where the gun was coming from. So there is a software now. There is a device that you can use that once a shot is fired, sensors can detect exact point where that gunfire came from and relay the information to the police so that the police can arrive on the scene more quickly and able to counter that threat in as soon as possible. And that, of course, will solve, we'll be able to save lives. Okay, there was a case in 2017 in California where, somebody wanted to start killing people like that, and they using this short spotter, they were able to get him within 4 minutes and 13 seconds. All right, so that is a good one for the police and security forces to think of using. Okay, so that short spotter can actually be a solution. So a lot of things can happen in minutes if you don't react on time. Thermal imaging can also be used, especially in the dark. So because our body emits heat, so the system can actually detect where people are, especially in the dark. So somebody has run, during firefighting, or search and rescue missions. Okay, somebody has went to hide in a dark place. So we can use thermal imaging, or we are even looking for people. All right, maybe there was a building collapse, or there was an earthquake. We want to be able to detect where people are in the rubble. So this thermal imaging could actually be used to detect its picture or its map and determine where exactly somebody is hiding or is located. Artificial intelligence, very important, machine learning. So you have systems now that can do what human beings can do. All right. So they can learn, they can learn what human beings are doing. They can even write their own programs. So you have programs that can write programs. So and it's very important in data analysis. So you need to be able to have experts. The Nigerian and the global security forces need to be able to get uh, uh, artificial intelligence expertise so that you're able to get information out of information. You're able to get information out of data, which might not be easy to spot. So you have predictive policing, which of course you can be able to make trend analysis. This is information from the past. This is information from now. Then you're able to predict information that will be tomorrow based on the past and the current information. So this is very important uh, for national security. Automatic license plate recognition is also very important. So somebody commit a crime with a car in Lagos State, drive the car to Ogun State or to Kwara State, anywhere it is, the system can pick that license plate, and police officers or security officers can actually stop the car anywhere it is. So once a car is suspected, all right, the system, you know, captures the license plate and sends amber alerts to security posts all over the country. Enhanced body-worn cameras, it has helped, in reducing police brutality to a point, especially in US. I know American police people, they use this body-worn camera. So once you are engaged in the public as a police officer, they camera is on so that we're able to know what we are doing. So if there is a case of police brutality or everyone evidence in court, okay, it becomes easy. It's not the word of the suspect against the police officer. All right, it's, we have a pictorial video evidence. So this is also very important. I think Lagos State is already talking about it. So maybe Lagos State Police Command will be the first to use body worn cameras in the country, and this can really help. All these ex-SARS protests, people protesting against police brutality, and the rest. I think if we have this kind of accountability, it might actually help to increase the trust that the people, society, will have in the police system. DNA technology, wonderful. So because DNA is individual, is unique, okay, we can actually solve a lot of crime with this DNA. I do a lot of studies on the American justice system, and I noticed that there are cases of 30 years, 20 years that they are solving now. So you have people that have been in jail for 15 years, 25 years, 35, 40. Some of them even on death rows. But at the time the crime was allegedly committed, there was no DNA technology. But luckily for these guys, the evidence, the human evidence was preserved. Maybe the hair of the alleged killer or suspect. So something was collected, and later they can do analysis of that. So now that the DNA technology is now a given, and so they are now using DNA technology to solve this crime, and a lot of people have been freed in the US for and some of them collect I think some states in America they have an amount they pay per every year you spend behind bars wrongfully. So the lawyers take the case to court and they pay them for all the years they were unjustly incarcerated, put in prison. So this is DNA technology, coming to the aid of many people. In Africa, in Nigeria, we have so many cases that are going unsolved. So these are this is an opportunity. Largely in Nigeria, we use DNA for paternity tests. But DNA technology can be used in forensics. Okay, we can use DNA technology for forensic investigation. Social networking tools. All right, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Okay, people have desire to share information. I don't know why, but it's just enough, So to share information. I was reading a report of some guys that went to rob and they stole somebody's property, including clothes. Then they wore the clothes, then post on Facebook. And that's how the police was able to get there. So a lot of people post so much information on social media. So it is also very important that security agencies they are also on social media because a lot of crime will be solved on social media. Some people they post their location without maybe they don't know they activated location tracking. Facebook says what's on your mind, tell what's on your mind. So we can actually monitor the social sites, social media sites to get information about suspects because many people naively post information that is not supposed to be in the public domain on social networks. So virtual emergency operation centers can also be created. Sometimes you have a disaster, you have a crisis, but you cannot have a physical emergency operation center there because of the risk. You can go on Zoom, right? You can go, on Microsoft Team. You can do online emergency meeting. So it is not compulsory now that there must be a physical emergency operation center. Everything can be done remotely. Intelligent monitoring. So it's very important who comes to a house, to a building, all right? When did the person come into the building? When did the person leave? Which part of the building did the person go? All those are very important today, especially buildings and environment that have national security and national importance. So we need to be able to strike a balance between security and openness. I love that, our personal freedom, because there will always be a conflict. People will shout. All right, but you see, when we're talking about national security, everybody must be ready to pay the price. Okay, because though the challenge there is that if the government is dictatorial, then it could be an abuse. Okay, but we need to realize that the today's world, as dangerous as it is, we might need to be able to shed some privacy for the entire country to be secured. So governments need to be able to watch, to get information before crimes are committed so that you can stop those crimes before they actually start wasting lives. Microwave weapon. I love this. The recent battle between China and India, there was this border crisis. One of the weapons that China used was a high energy electromagnetic radiation technology that turns, the hilltop that have been occupied by Indian soldiers into a microwave oven, literally cooking the Indian forces. So it generates high heat. So you just have to run without having to shoot. You can take an entire location. You don't have to shoot anybody. So people started vomiting, they can't stand. Within 15 minutes, Chinese armies have taken over those hilltops. When I read of this, I said, wow, how can Nigeria use this in fighting kidnapping? So if you have a situation whereby kidnappers have attacked, maybe a school or whatever, they've carried their victims. So Nigeria can buy this weapon from China. Okay, microwave weapon can buy from China, and because the fear in attacking a kidnapper's den is the life of the hostage, that they might start shooting the hostage. You don't have to shoot anybody. Just get this from China and eat up the environment. Everybody collapses. The special forces can move in and separate, the kidnappers from the victims, and that's all. Case closed. So this is something that I believe, we need to start considering in addressing the problem of kidnapping in the country. Of course, drones are very important. Drones can be used for as target decoys. So you just fake as if this is the real attack, and they can start shooting while the real operation is going on somewhere. All right, you can use drones for combat missions. We have drones now that can fire missiles. Okay, you can use drones for assessment and supervision, reconnaissance. So drones are very, very important today for national security. Then I want to talk also about border security. For example, in Nigeria, one of our greatest challenges right now, national security challenge, is border management. All right, because the country is so large, north south. How do you physically manage those borders? Why not use technology? So use satellites. If we don't have satellite, we can rent, right? We can rent satellites. We can actually the established uh, governments that we are friendly with. We can have a relationship, a partnership with them, so that we can use satellite to monitor these borders and pick information on our time. We can use unmanned area vehicles, airplanes, drones that are unmanned for security of the pilots and be able to monitor what is going on in the border on every time. For example, in US, their customs, their border protection, all right, the US Border Protection Agency, they are using large-scale X-ray, all right, and gamma ray machines and radiation detection devices to screen cargo. So you don't even need to open the cargo, just use the gamma and X-ray detection. Everything that is there will show as if it's opened. Biometrics are also being used by United States to verify identities of most non-US citizens arriving at the US port of entry. So use of biometrics, use of X-ray machines, gamma ray machines, radiation detection tools can actually help us in securing our borders. We've had reports of people bringing ammunition, bringing guns through the border, or mingling ammunition with, with day-to-day goods. So if we have all these technology to scan, it makes the life of everybody, the immigration agencies, the customs agencies, they have all these tools, their job will become more easier. Their job become easier. All right, look at Saudi Arabia also. Saudi Arabia, they have what they call Saudi Border Guard Development Program. They are using 225 radars as at about 2006. So even now, I'm sure it is far more than this. So 2 to 5 radars covering the entire 5,000 kilometer of coastline and land border. So if you want to use soldiers or police or or customs or immigration officer, how many immigration officers will you deploy? Over 5,000 kilometers. So you use the immigration officers with radars. So they have 400 frontier posts, barracks for the security forces. They have helicopters, all right, for rapid response. They have reconnaissance planes. Then they have a control center in Riyadh to process all the information. That's what we are talking about. So use a mixture of technology to manage the borders. So this is the end of my presentation on how Nigeria can actually use information technology to manage our national security. Thank you so much.